So this is the project that we did for working with data. The form that we used was a Google form, and we were able to collect data of 1299 people, out of which 671 were male and 613 people were female. So when we were to choose the topic for the working with data project, we discussed many topics such as water availability or the green forest area around everyone's home. But we landed on a topic which was online, which was this data, internet usage. And we thought that this was the best topic to choose in the times of COVID, as as since COVID, the online classes has commenced. Colleges are operating online. Everything is online. People are working from home, which is also an online mode. So internet and its usage has gone up several times after COVID, and when we saw this topic, we all decided that we will work on this topic only for our project. A big role in this, in the online working, is of Geo. When Geo, before Geo, if you remember, the cost of 1 GB data was very much. It was around 200 or 225 rupees. But after Geo and it came and it gave free data and the plans changed, the 3 month unlimited plan or the unlimited plans came. If those plans were not there, the situation have been a lot different in India in this COVID time when everything is operating online. The data collection techniques, we mainly used Google Forms and shared the link on various platforms. All of us, when the minimum requirement for the data was 1,000 people, so we were 5 people, so around 200 data each, 200 people each. So we use different platforms such as Discord, Pinterest, Reddit, or YouNow, or and WhatsApp and Telegram, obviously, for sharing the link of a Google form so that we can convince people to enter in the Google form. And the most difficult part about this was the people were not believing us, as they thought that we are scammers, and we had to uh, convince the strangers that we are not scammers, we are not taking any sensitive information from you. But in the end, we succeeded and we were able to take 1299 data.
Okay, so now let's see the form reach of our Google form. So the starting was quite smooth, but soon we all the group members ran out of contact. So then we resorted to different platforms that Abhishek spoke of before. So then, such as Discord, Reddit, we distributed our Google form, and then we got to complete our data collection goal.
When we see the internet usage trend, we see that the 18 to 24 range people are using the most data, and we can also see that the most of our data is of this range only. So we can say that this data is not so dependable, but yeah, we can say that as in the work in 18 to 24 range, there are college students, there are school students, and the 12th students basically, and there are also people who are working. So we can expect that this would have been the age range that would have used the max amount of data.
Now let's see the female and male internet users. So what we can conclude from the data we have collected, that male and female users are now on equal platforms. Now the resources that are available to male users are also available to female users.
Also, we expected that the male users would have been a lot more than females, because in our class only, the sex ratio is about 3:1. So we expected the males to be a lot more, but when the data came and we plotted this graph, we happened to notice that the difference is not much. So this was a thing that was unexpected. When we see the trend of screen times by gender, we see that in these all the users mostly have this greater than 7 hour data. And we see that males have a majority in this, and in the 5 to 7 hour range we are almost equal. There is a difference of one only. So we can not interpolate too much by this data, but we can see that the screen times have increased. The people who are using screens for more than 7 hours are greater. They're around one third of our data.
Now comes the average data usage in a day. So if we compare average data usage in terms of past and present, so minimum data that a person need is 500 MB. So this 500 MB covers all the basic things that a person need. But 500 MB is not a satisfactory data that a person need.
Also, we can see that the number of people who are using greater than 1 GB data or 2 GB data is around 800. The 800 people, the 8 900 people out of 1300, that is a great percentage, and we can say that the dependability on internet has increased.
Here, as we can see, according to the graph of popular internet service providers, before 2019, we can see Airtel and Idea were dominating that area. But after Jio installed services for free or extremely low rates, Jio also started dominating in speed. Uh, Sidewise, 1 GB data, according to the data, also become cheap and gave competition to the other competitors like Airtel and Idea.
And we can see that right now Airtel and Jio are the leaders of this industry, and they are leading the industry.
So if we see the consumption trend, social media is the winner here. So if we take social media platforms such as Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, these social platforms have good and bad effects also. These effects depend on the user only. If a person is using these social media platforms for good reason, it's fine. But more than half of the people are using these platforms for attention only, which is a bad thing. This can lead to deterioration of mental health, as sitting and seeing the phone screen and emitting blue light can damage both your mind and eyes.
And we can say that video streaming platforms are not far behind social media, as the Netflix and Amazon Primes or other OTT platforms have also gained popularity in this COVID times, and they were famous before this time also. As we said earlier, that Airtel and Jio were the leaders in this mobile industry. We can see that everywhere in the each data bracket that we gave to our audience, Jio is almost winning everywhere, except this 100 to 500 kbps, the average speed that Airtel is giving. This our data shows that Airtel users have more number here, but we can say that otherwise Jio is better than Airtel, and it is giving better speeds to its users.
Here I can see the internet dependency trend. According to the table, you can see 50 to 70% people are dependent on internet majorly for the daily usage. This also shows that how efficient and user-friendly internet became in a time like lockdown. Internet dependency also affects one's physical, psychological, or social well-being because majority of Indians and you can say the college students now are accessing it for a source of information and entertainment. And the same goes for those people who are working in jobs and attending video conferences. So according to the trend, we can see it's been increasing, and in the lockdown, it has achieved huge heights.
Also, it can be said that internet, which was previously considered a leisure, a luxury, is now a necessity, and everyone needs it for the basic things in life. So here we have some question regarding security, and we asked our users that whether they use password or passphrase for any accounts, and we can see that only 450 people, that was like one third of our audience use passphrase. Passphrase is nothing but a sentence. Uh, for example, in password, we can my name is Abhishek, so we put Abhishek 123 or our date of birth before the name or after the name. But in passphrase, we use a phrase that Abhishek eats something or something like that. And passphrase are supposed to increase the safety in your accounts. But we can see that very less number of people know about passphrase now, and this should be increased in the future times.
Now we come to e-commerce and e-payments usage trends. According to this pie chart, you can see a huge number of people are dependent on e-commerce and e-payment gateways, and it also implies their trust in it. In India, especially, you can see a huge number of transactions are happening every second, and this has been possible due to use advantage of internet. And many startups were also taking initiative to explore this sector and achieve more sustainability. Uh, Consumer trust related to payment is an essential topic, and the internet can help in it in many ways, like making cashless payments or having business to business transactions.
So we can say internet is very useful to this generation because on internet everything is present there. The knowledge, entertainment, online games are present.
Also, if you see the number of people who have voted 4 or 5 stars to the internet on our form is 1100, even greater than 1100, and we had a sample size of 1299. So we can conclude that many people who filled our form are finding are finding internet very useful, and these people might have been trolls as well because as this is a form and we cannot assure the sincerity of our data. So, as we talked about screen time earlier, we saw the screen time trend by gender as well. So, here we have the data of screen time as per the age groups that we presented to our audiences. And we see that in the greater screen time ranges, that is 5 to 7 hour and greater than 7 hour, we see that the people in the age range of 18 to 24 are the highest in both the cases. So we can say that screen time is increased, but saying that 18 to 24 greatest uh, has the greatest screen time user of all of them would be unappropriate at this point because the the total of our data that we have, the people in the age range of 18 to 24 were the greatest as well. So it is only logical to find this 18 to 24 people in the greatest in this screen time. And we can see this that the percentage of people, if we see the percentage of people to make this data more appropriate or more logical, we see that 41.4% people are using the data using the screen time greater than 5 hours, and 35% are greater than 7 hours. So if we total it, that is more than 71% of the people who voted for 18 to 24 age range have a screen time greater than 5 hours. And this is all again thanks to the COVID times that we are living in. We have the consumption trends according to gender, and we see in social media the females are winning or have the majority, but in video streaming platforms, the males have the majority. But this all is not very necessary, and we see that the popularity of social media and video streaming platforms in uh, is greater irrespective of the gender. And we see that percentage of males using the most percentage of data is 28%, while the 26% females who voted for our forms are using most of their data on social media. So it is not a very big difference. So we can say that these have equal popularity, and the people are using their data irrespective of their gender on this social media and video streaming platforms.
Now we come to data consumption trend. In this table, you can see majorly more than 1 GB data per day is consumed by everyone. You can see in that group, we can also talk about the student column because the major percentage of usage has been reported by them. This also contributes that the new generations are getting more and more dependent on internet, and according to the global surveys, it's also projected that this usage will peak at in 2022, which will have 5.1 billion subscriptions. Uh, if we talk about especially India, Indians use about 12 GB data per month on an average, and this is the highest consumption globally. And it's also expected to double over next 5 years because of the changing video viewing habits according to the many telecom companies. So it's a good news for India because internet is also going cheap, and those who can't afford it can also start affording it.
So in the conclusions, we have that internet is very useful for everyone, and it can be, as everything, a coin has two faces. The internet also has a good face and a bad face as well. The good face is that we are studying online, the project is being made online. The four of us are separated by distances, but still we are making this project together. The negative side is there as well, that there are hackers, there are spams happening all over the world over internet. There are people getting bullied, cyberbullying, and people are also getting into depression for because of the social medias, and because they see various people having fun and having fun with their friends, but some of the people who don't have friends, or they are in a uh, they are in a weaker mental state, so they fall into depression as well. So we cannot say that internet is all good, but yeah, internet can be very useful if you use it in the right way.
Also, we can say that
Sorry.
in today's generation, without internet, a person cannot work because at all the meetings, all the talks are done on internet only.
So these are some of the meetings that we had. We use various platforms for our meetings just because the sake of it. We wanted to use many platforms. We use Zoom, Google Meet, and WhatsApp. As of now, we are doing it on Google Meet, and this was our project. So thank you.
Thank you.